Hi everyone, I'm Matthew Cole, and today I will be demonstrating the clarinet. So, first, let me take apart the clarinet so I can show you how to actually put it together. So, the clarinet is made up of 5 different pieces. First, we have what is called the bell. This is at the bottom of the instrument, okay? And then above the bell, we put the lower joint. It goes on just like that, okay? And above the lower joint goes the upper joint. And this is where the upper and lower joint are where all your fingers go. We'll get more of that in a minute. On top of the upper joint goes the barrel. And finally, at the very top, we have the mouthpiece. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the back, and then from the side that I'm seeing, we have this chamber here, and the reed will go on here, and I'll show you the reeds in a second, and this space inside here is where all of the sound comes from. It's the chamber that allows sound to pass through. Okay, so we will put the mouthpiece on top, and now let me show you some reeds. So I have a couple reed cases for storage. As you can see, all my reeds are in here. It's humidity controlled because they're very sensitive to weather. So I took out a random reed, and it's a good idea to soak it in your mouth or a dish of water to get it wet before playing. So I'll do that, and while we're waiting, we have here what is called a ligature, and I'll show you in a minute. This is what connects the reed to the mouthpiece. So, I'll try to show you here. The reed goes on the mouthpiece like this, okay, so that the tip of the reed is at the tip of the mouthpiece. And now, we're going to, after I place it carefully, take the ligature, slide it over, okay. So, you just take the ligature, slide it over, and then I do some adjusting to make sure everything is lined up. And there is a screw on ligatures. Some have one, some have two. Some actually don't have any. But I'm going to tighten this and then loosen it a bit so the reed is not suffocated. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we have the reed fastened on the mouthpiece, which is connected to the rest of the clarinet. And this right here I didn't say is a thumb rest. I put this on here. It makes playing more comfortable for my right thumb. So, to play the clarinet, we use our mouth and we use both hands. So we'll start with the bottom, the right hand. Okay, the right hand goes on the lower joint. You want to make a mix between a C and a V shape, and you're going to put it here so that each one of your fingers is covering one of these 3 holes, tone holes. And then your pinky should be able to reach any of these 4 keys. And the same thing with your left hand. There is a key or tone hole for your left thumb, but your other 3 fingers go there, so your pinky can reach any of these 4 keys. Okay? So, in terms of keys and holes on the clarinet, your fingers cover all the holes, and then you have these pinky keys here, which I'll show you what those do. We have these side keys, which are often called trill keys, and we have the register key on the back. Okay? So, to make a sound, you don't want to breathe, so obviously you're going to breathe in, but you don't want to breathe from your shoulders. You want to breathe from your stomach. So, you don't want to see your shoulders move up when you're breathing. This is bad. That's bad. It causes a lot of tension, and your lungs are not in your shoulders. They're down here. So, what we're going to do to breathe, it's good to start out by putting your hands on your chest, and when you breathe in, you should feel your hands go out. Okay, so once you breathe in, you're going to put your mouth in a certain way. This is called the embouchure, the way that your mouth fits around the clarinet. You want to bring these corners in, and you want to have your lower jaw down. Okay, so your bottom lip is resting against the reed, and your top two teeth are resting against the mouthpiece cushion. Okay? So it looks something like that. So we take in a breath, position our mouth, and then all of the sound comes from blowing fast air through a... So you want to pretend that you're blowing air through a straw, is the way I like to think of it. So really fast. It should have like a sound. You don't want... It has to be really fast. So I won't go into it now, but there's a lot of advanced techniques where you have to make sure your tongue is at the right height and the right shape inside your mouth to get the right type of sound. So if we make this sound and put it on the mouthpiece, it sounds something like this. Okay, so that's the basic sound. Now, to change the pitch, we put one or more of our fingers down, okay? So I'll show you how low the clarinet can go, and it gets even lower using these pinky keys. So that's the bottom range of the clarinet. Now, to get higher than that, we're going to have to use what's called the register key, and this lifts everything up almost 2 octaves, between an octave and 2 octaves. So I will play you what's called a chromatic scale. So every note up to a point, I could go higher, but I don't want to hurt your ears. Excuse me for that not being the most even. I haven't practiced a lot today. So that's the general range of the clarinet. It can go quite a bit higher, like I said. So these pinky keys make it go lower, and these side keys are called trill keys. Okay, so when you have to go from notes really fast, like if I was to go from this note to this note really fast, I wouldn't want to move that, so I could just use one of these side keys, and it's a lot easier. Okay, that's really it with the basics of where your fingers go and how to put it together. So I'll play a nice tune for you. The clarinet is often known for its sweet, delicate sound. So I'll just play something like Hot Cross Buns in a nice, low, rich, warm key so you can hear some of what the clarinet sounds like. So, the clarinet can play really softly and it can play quite loudly. At the soft end, you can get to the point where it's barely even noticeable. And again, I can play really loudly, but I won't hurt your ears. So it can play soft, quiet stuff and slow, nice passages, but it can also be quite flashy. Here's an example of something that's loud and out there. Okay, so now that I've shown you a little bit more about the clarinet, I will show you how to clean it. So, first thing, you always want to take the mouthpiece off. You never want to run your swab, which I have right here. This is called a swab. This is what cleans it. You never want to put this through the mouthpiece. It could seriously damage the mouthpiece. So, often it's cloth or, it's made out of a bunch of different materials, and there's a string attached to it. So, you turn the clarinet upside down, put one end in, let it go all the way through, and it should come out the other. Actually, this is okay. So it comes out this end, and then you just simply pull the string, and that is what cleans the clarinet. It's getting a little stuck right now. I'm not sure why. It never usually does. But that is basically it. And there we go. Okay. So that is basically it, and I hope you enjoyed.